Ladies and gentlemen, boys and pearls, welcome to the 6th episode of the Bearded Purl Podcast. I'm Caleb.
I'm Justin.
And today is Sunday, August 16th, 2020. This is a podcast about the fiber arts. Will you stop laughing?
No! Fiber arts.
That's all I got.
Hi, guys. Glad to be here. The struggle is real. It has been 3 weeks since our last confession. I've been let out of my box. Again, real excited to be here.
Keep it up, it won't happen again.
It's been a long day. It's been a long week. It's been a long month. A long summer. A long year. But here we are.
It's been a long intro. So, it's been a full 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Yeah. It's been busy, though.
We have a lot going on right now.
The end of summer, so in Wisconsin, the summers aren't very long. It's maybe, three and a half months of decent weather, and that means that for us, since we like to can and do a lot of stuff in the garden, that our summers are pretty packed with stuff like that. And everything is starting to ripen all at once. So it's officially canning season. And
I thought you were going to say fall apart. Everything is falling apart all at once. Because that's also happening.
That too. We'll get to that. So it's officially canning season, and we have done green beans, and we have corn to can. We did tomatoes today.
Pickles.
Oh yeah, pickles, jams, and then what else?
We have jalapenos.
Have to do our candied jalapenos.
We have beets.
Beets.
Regular beets and pickled beets.
Mm-hmm.
We have sauerkraut going. We have cabbages the size of beach balls still in the garden.
They're huge.
We have onions. We have beans. Leeks. It is a jungle out there.
Cucumbers.
Oh my gosh.
So many cucumbers.
Cucumbers. We should have brought them. They're the size of baseball bats.
Yeah, they're easily the size of a skein of yarn.
Yeah. Climbing into a tree adjacent to their fence.
Mm-hmm. They've gone wild.
It's just out of control. And it's the end of summer, and it's hot, and we're tired, and there's a lot more going on. So we push on, and it is what it is. We love it, and then before you know it, it will be snowing in October, and summer will be over, and then we will be locked inside for 6 months. So
At least, yeah.
yeah.
Yay. But no, it's been good. We got a lot of canning done and clean up in the garden. We've had so much rain and so many storms lately that it's just been beating the whole garden up, and things look a little rough right now.
Yeah, it's the end of summer. We have I say the end of summer. We have a hot July, so things look a little bit tired outside, but they're also growing. The vegetables look good. The flowers look a little bit tired, but
we
good.
look exhausted.
We look tired. There are bags. The bags have bags. But it's what you do when you have too many hobbies.
Too many hobbies, not enough time, not enough hours in the day. What?
They get us.
Oh, yeah.
They're there.
Yeah. Well, and you fell down, well, we'll get to that, but historical costuming rabbit hole.
I thought you were going to say I actually fell down.
Oh, probably.
Which I don't think I did. Anyway, we're struggling today, clearly. We're 4.5 minutes in and have talked about nothing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today's episode will have some, very few works in progress. What do we have? A couple of acquisitions or Pearls Gone Wild and some shop news.
And a few A couple of finished objects. Maybe.
Do we?
Maybe
Oh,
one.
yeah.
I have one, kind of.
I don't have any.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
How about life? Really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everyone's dying for a chipmunk update.
Oh, man.
So we've signed the proposal to have our front walkway replaced, which is really exciting. Unfortunately, it probably means the chipmunks are going to have to dig a new home.
Which I'm sure they will.
Or at least rebuild in their current location. So we're really excited to have the sidewalk replaced, or the front walkway. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. It literally looks like bowling balls have been thrown off of the roof onto the sidewalk, but that's what we deal with warm summers and really cold winters. So we'll have a new walkway, hopefully. I don't actually know when they're going to start. So we'll have a new walkway at some point. It's really exciting. We still don't have our range.
Right. That was supposed to be delivered
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Was it
COVID, yeah.
It was 2 weeks ago. And that was an extended delivery time. So they had allotted, I think, 3.5 weeks for it to be delivered. And that was supposed to be Monday on the 3rd. And that day comes and goes. Don't get a phone call or any sort of update. So I wait a couple of days, and then I call the appliance store that we ordered it from and got a hold of someone, and they ended up tracking it down, and it's on a delivery truck right now. But the truck has to be full in order to be sent out of the warehouse. So we're still waiting for our stove. And that makes canning season especially difficult this year.
Right. What's better than pressure canning with an unreliable heat source?
Right.
That sounds sketchy.
Yeah, so that's great.
We persevere.
Then they got a hold of like I said, the GE people gave an updated delivery time of sometime at the end of the month. So he said in the 3rd or 4th week of August. So we're almost there. And I'm dying to have my new stove. But that's exciting. It will be here eventually. We will make it through.
But that's not all.
But wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more. The day after we signed the proposal for the walkway,
for the concrete to be replaced,
what
were we trying to reheat? A cup of coffee?
Tortillas for breakfast.
Oh,
we
yeah,
were
trying to
making
warm 'em
breakfast
up.
burritos.
That's right.
Something very simple. Warm tortilla in the microwave.
And lo and behold, the microwave doesn't work.
It's not just a microwave. It is an over-the-range microwave
And vent hood.
vent hood combination. So it turns out that our microwave is also broken. Super exciting. Now we lived for 2 years in our apartment in Milwaukee. Our apartment was about the size of a sheet of paper, and our kitchen was...
You could touch one side and the other with both arms.
Our kitchen was 1/4 of a sheet of paper, about an index card's worth. And we did not have... Well, we had a microwave, but we ended up taking it out of the kitchen because we didn't have the counter space. So we've survived without a microwave before, although I will admit we use it more than we thought we did. And you find that out very quickly when you have one, but it doesn't work. It's not tempting to use one when you don't have one.
Right.
But when it's there and it just doesn't work, it just taunts you every day. So we are waiting on a visit from the repair person, which is still a few weeks out because everything's better with COVID. It's going to take a while. But wait, there's more.
So after that breakfast, when we went to load the dishwasher, after cleaning up the kitchen, we discovered that our dishwasher was then broken. Every single light on it was flashing. We tried to troubleshoot some more and reset, unplug, flip the breaker. Nothing's worked, and now no lights flash. It is not fixed. It is entirely broken. And we're also waiting for the repairman to come and look at that. So in a matter of 20 minutes, we discovered that the microwave and the dishwasher didn't work, and we have to replace our range. At least that's on the way. I can't imagine what it's going to take to replace the dishwasher and the microwave.
We either have a poltergeist or my mother is more efficient with curses than she realizes. So,
yeah, she said,
TBD.
Well, if one thing usually goes, then expect a couple more to go.
Or she's been very entertained by the fact that our refrigerator doesn't match the rest of our appliances. And we know, I mean, obviously we know that, but we were unconcerned when we moved in and just thought, well, we'll replace it at some point. It's white and the rest of our appliances are stainless steel. And we knew that at some point we would either replace or upgrade the range.
Right.
And we just thought, we'll replace the fridge at some point when we feel like it, or when we have some extra money, or when the time seems right. And my mom has been laughing, saying, oh, as soon as you get your new range, you're going to want all new appliances that match. Which, I mean, of course we would, but we were totally...
Eventually, like a year or two down the road.
Yeah, we were unconcerned, not talking about it at all. And she just giggles every time I call her and tell her that we have another major kitchen appliance that is non-functional. And I will strangle her if our refrigerator actually breaks before all of this is done.
At least we have a backup refrigerator in the basement. So it's not like...
Don't even say it.
It's not like we'll totally...
Stop the sentence right now. Our lives are falling apart.
At least all of our appliances are.
Yeah, at least all of our appliances have given up. So we will keep you posted. We are going to be pioneers in the meantime, washing a lot of dishes by hand because we do a lot of cooking and canning. It's a very inconvenient time for nothing to work properly in your kitchen.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we currently have 2 pressure cookers upstairs going, one with dinner, one that is finishing canning tomatoes.
It's a pressure canner, not a pressure cooker.
It's a pressure cooker.
It's a pressure canner.
It's the same thing.
No, it's
a
not.
pressure heating kitchen appliance.
It's different.
Anyway, that's our life right now.
In theory, it's the same. Yeah. So that's been great.
Yeah. Real talk.
Totally first world problems. Like, we understand that.
Oh my gosh,
that is,
yes.
that is the most minimal of issues right now.
Yeah.
But
we are healthy. We are happy.
it doesn't make it easy.
We have everything we need. Way more than we could ever want. And yeah.
At least I've got yarn to keep me busy.
Guys, if I could turn this camera around and do a 360 in our basement right now.
Our workroom. I was going to say it's a craft space, but it looks like a craft explosion. It's pretty rough right now.
Or an episode of Hoarders.
I can't argue with that. That's true.
It looks like a bomb has gone off.
It's a little rough.
Everything is covered in yarn, mohair,
or fabric.
Thread, or fabric. Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. So let's get into it.
Anyway, yeah.
Now that we've been here
enough of that. Whew!
Forever and a day.
Thanks for hanging in.
Yeah.
We're a little bit froggy today.
So I have been working on a new sweater, which is part of Andrea Mowry's Rhinebeck sweater designs that she does every year. And it is the Spice cardigan right here. She released another version called Spark, and they're both pretty similar. It's a super interesting steeked cardigan. It is knit from the bottom up, so you knit the sleeves and the bottom separately, join them at the armholes, and then decrease up. And then you have to steek it and knit your band. So I just realized that it needs buttons, and I haven't picked up buttons yet, but we'll get to that point.
Shopping doesn't seem to be a problem for us right now.
Yeah,
so
we'll get there later.
I'm sure you can come up with buttons.
So I'm knitting mine out of the recommended yarns, and that is the Magpie Fibers Nest Worsted, and it is 100% non-superwash Corriedale, 210 yarns per 100 grams, in the colorway Twilight Cinder. So it's a really nice charcoal gray And then my secondary color is a Spin Cycle Yarns 100% Superwash American yarn, or wool, excuse me. And the colorway is Mississippi Marsala.
I love this.
Here's another ball. So yeah.
They all look just a hair different.
All of the Spin Cycle yarns are different from each other. So, whoop.
Lost one. I really like these colors together too.
I dropped my balls. The colors vary from one skein to the next, but pretty cool. So that is my Spin Cycle, and I have officially completed one sleeve. So the cuff is folded over at the end, which I think is kind of a fun detail. But so there's my first sleeve, and
I really like how it changes color through the sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. The yarns are really nice together.
And the pattern is, at least in the sleeves for right now, it's pretty easy to memorize. It's
repetitive.
Very. And then you just have to measure it every so often and figure out your gauge for your rows to determine how many rows you need in between for your increases, and lickety split from there. So it's super fun. It's almost like a sunset. Mm-hmm. And so that's my first sleeve, and I am this far on my second sleeve. So I've got a couple more inches to go with my ribbing and then knit the colorwork portion. And I have purchased a new needle set, which is the ChiaoGoo Twist Shorties. I just recently found out about these guys. So it's the Twist Shorties, and what it is are you get three cables initially, a 5-inch, a 6-inch, and an 8-inch in your package, and then it comes with all of the regular interchangeable ChiaoGoo doodads. And then what's interesting about these are not only is it in a tiny little carrying case, but the needles, which I've just dropped in my bag.
It comes with a full set.
Yeah, it comes with a full set. The needle tips come in two different sizes. Or let me rephrase that, two different lengths. So they come in a 2-inch and a 3-inch. I don't know if you can see it there. And then you just attach that to whatever length of cable you're using. And
give me this.
Okay.
I don't know what you're doing.
I don't either. So I have really hard time using like 9-inch circulars for socks, and this is pretty close to that. So my thumbs get a little sore and cramp at the end. I am a flicker in my knitting technique, so I tend to use the needle as a lever, and it's not too tricky to knit. So I mean, I got this far, but after a while my hands start to hurt. But the next size up, which was the 8-inch cord, that is just fine. So I actually do like it for the sleeves. So definitely could be something that's handy for sleeves, especially. I started this one on Magic Loop, and I almost would say that I would prefer to start it on the Magic Loop while it's still so tiny, so I don't have to use such a small needle, just because it's a little too hard to maneuver. But
how many stitches are on your cuff?
48 for the size I'm making.
Okay.
And you start it on a US 5, and then depending on your gauge, which you should measure by making a swatch. Super helpful.
Really proud of that.
Yeah, really proud of that. You either knit the sleeve on a US 7 or a US 8. And I didn't like the fabric on a 7, even though I got gauge, so I actually went up to an 8. So the sleeve fit a little bit better, and the fabric was a little bit nicer for me. I don't know if I'll go to an 8 on the body of the sweater. That's supposed to be knit in a 7, but we'll see. I do like the fabric though, so I might just keep it that way. And that is housed in one of our bags. And so I have all of the yarn for my sweater, including the 7 main skeins of my main color, and the 3 I needed for my contrast color in our sweater bag. So it holds everything. Sorry. Which is kind of nice. But yeah, so I'm trying the new needles, and the sweater knitting is going pretty well so far. I've only had to rip out the sleeve twice. The first time I cast on the wrong size, and then the second time I had knit it on the 7 and just didn't like the way it was fitting or the look of the sleeve. So we're pushing along, and it's progressing nicely.
Every sweater has at least 4 sleeves. Maybe 3.
Right.
At least 4.
But the yarn itself, the Magpie Fibers, is more of a rustic yarn. It's not scratchy at all, but it's definitely got a more rustic feel to it.
It's very springy, very woolly.
Yeah, nice and woolly. Definitely next to skin soft, but it's just a little, yeah, I would say more rustic than like a fine superwash merino or something really smooth and silky. Which is nice though. I like it.
I really like that gray. It's a nice...
They have a lot of amazing colors.
It's a nice color.
And then the next project I'm working on, which I haven't made a ton of progress on because we, like I said, have been busy canning and doing all of that stuff, is my Susan Joy shawl. And that's by Andy Fagan. I am knitting mine out of the Chelsea Luxe Cobblestone in the Blue Lagoon colorway, and the Chelsea Luxe Mohair base in the Blue Lagoon colorway as well. So I decided to do something a little bit different with mine and alternate the different bands in Mohair and the Cobblestone. So it's got a really interesting texture, and the colors play a little bit differently. So I combined both of the yarns up here in my first little kind of setup triangle, and then I've been alternating every section since then. So it's interesting to see the two colors, or two yarns, play together, and then the same color. The dyes take up a little bit differently, and I'm really liking it so far. I think towards the end of the shawl, I will use more of the Cobblestone, just so it adds a little bit of body to it. And
I love the little slubs in here.
Slubby bits, yeah. So the Cobblestone is a slub yarn. I don't know if you can see it. So every, I don't know, maybe 12 to 14 inches, there's a little bump in there.
It's core spun around a thread.
And it's a fingering weight.
Yeah, it's almost like a boucle, but I guess technically just a slub yarn, but really, really cool and interesting. And I love the tonality, and the slubs take up the dye differently than the rest of the yarn, which is really just interesting. I love the color variation in it, and I love the color.
Yeah, great yarns to work with. I'm really, really enjoying this project so far.
Yeah.
The original pattern calls for just one skein of the Cobblestone, or one skein of fingering weight, whatever you've got. And I was reading a lot of comments on Ravelry project pages and some other people that had knit it, and they said that they wanted it a little bit bigger. And I had purchased these two together and didn't want to go out and buy another skein. So I just thought of this way to kind of stretch it out and make it a little bit bigger and larger, and that way, again, I could combine the textures, and it's turning out pretty fun. It's a really enjoyable knit. I do have to say, the knitting with a single strand of mohair alone can be a little tricky sometimes, just because it's a little slippery on its own with a metal needle, but then sticky at the same time. It's just that silk content in there is a little
that's
slick.
a mohair silk, like a 70-30 maybe.
It's a 70-30.
Yeah, it's a great yarn.
And those are the two projects I've been working on for a while. What about you? Do you have any?
I have one finished object that's it's a couple of months old, admittedly, but I was hoping to show it last time, and because I talk too much, we ran out of time. I mean, I guess we didn't run out of time, but we talked for over 2 hours, so I didn't show them. But I have socks that I completed. This was another test knit that I did for Matt Akers, Makers Knitting, that was called Off the Beaten Path. And this was one of the 6 patterns that were in his Pride collection. And I absolutely loved knitting these. They were so much fun. I love the color. I love the pattern. I'll show the other sock on a blocker in just a second, but it's knit. The construction is really fun. It's knit in stockinette. My brain just stopped completely. It's reverse stockinette, but you're knitting, you knit on the inside, so you're cabling from the inside. You knit the sock inside out so that you don't have to purl 472,000 stitches. And then you flip it right side out to do the heel flap. So it's a traditional sock construction where you knit the leg, you knit the heel flap and gusset, and then the foot. So you knit the sock inside out through the leg and do the cabling. You flip it right side out, do the heel flap and turn, and then flip it back inside out to knit the gusset and finish the foot. And then you knit the whole thing inside out. So you end up with all of the purl bumps. As you can see, you have a cable. I'll say there was a challenge mentally for me to figure out how to cable without a cable needle backwards, because you're
purling the cable.
You're purling the cabled stitches and you're going a different direction. So it took me a minute to figure that out. I think I had to undo several cables before I finally figured it out. But the socks are mirror images of each other. So you have this nice waving back and forth cable that just sits on top of the stitches. I love the way these turned out. The left and right are exact mirror images of each other. So there's just one cable chart to follow. It's just the placement of the cable that's different. And it's offset to the right in the right sock, offset to the left in the left sock.
So this is what it would look like inside out, or as you were knitting it.
Right.
It would be this way. So that's what you're talking about, the kind of tricky little purled cable.
Right. You know, typically with a cable, you have your setup stitches are the purls, and then you're moving the knit stitches around. And, you know, occasionally there's knits and purls involved. But when you're doing that from the inside or the wrong side, everything is backwards. And so I really struggled to overcome the purling without the cabling without a cable needle. But once I figured it out, the socks literally flew off the needles, and I would knit this pattern again 50 more times. It's interesting. It's engaging. It's just enough to keep you entertained. Once you figure out, you know, how far the cable goes back and forth, you really don't even need the pattern. And I loved them. They fit perfectly. The yarn is Knit Somniac in the colorway Envy. This is maybe deep stash yarn. We've had this for several years. 5 or 6 years old.
We say deep stash, but
let's be honest, if you didn't just purchase it,
it's deep stash.
It's deep stash. I feel like
if you pulled it off a shelf and not out of a brand new shipping bag, it's deep stash.
Right. Anything that you didn't buy
Those
is
are fun, though.
Deep stash. But Knit Somniac now is under a new name, which is Siren Fiber Arts. This green, I mean, it is like an emerald green. It's looking a little bit washed out here. It's just a really vibrant, saturated green. I love the color. I knit this on a US 1, which is a 2.25 needle. I don't know any of the metric millimeters. I'm so terrible with that. So 72 on a 1. My go-to sock for years was a 64 stitch sock on a US 2, but aren't there two twos? There's like the 2.5.
So technically, the US 2 is a 2.75. But yes. If you look, some needles, for instance, Addie.
There's also a 2.5.
Nope, that's a 1.5. The Addies, for example, when they say US 2, it's 3 millimeters instead of 2.75.
Okay. So my go-to for years, I knit all my socks magic loop, usually one at a time now. I knit 2 at a time for quite a long time, and I actually just enjoy knitting them one at a time, and I think you can really go faster. And I don't ever suffer from second sock syndrome. I finish one and just go right into the next and love knitting them. But I've been experimenting maybe for the last 6 or 9 months with different combinations of needle size and stitch count. This 64 on a US 2, that 2.75, they fit great.
Mm-hmm.
They're very comfortable. They look nice. They're really comfortable to knit. But the fabric is, it's not loose, but it's not snug. There's not really any negative ease. They just fit really well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been experimenting going down needle sizes. Then at some point you have to go up in stitch count. And I'm really liking the fabric right now on a 72 stitch sock with a US 1. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I like it because it makes a slightly denser fabric that's a little more snug on your foot.
Right.
I have, I'll say, small ankles, but I have large calves. And so I have a problem just in general with hand knit socks. I can't knit them too tall or then they just immediately bunch up. I can't get them over my calves unless I make a knee-high sock that actually has a gusset in it. So I don't do that, but knitting with the 72 on a 1, you can use more of the yarn, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have as much left over. I feel like the 64 on a 2 gives you kind of an awkward amount of yarn left. And so I'm enjoying it. So that's what I'm trying out right now, is that 72 on a 1, which is where I knit these. But if you're interested in the pattern, again, it's called Off the Beaten Path. Matt made those available in June for Pride, either for purchase individually or you could purchase the whole collection, which I did. And there's great sock patterns. It's a sock collection, his Pride collection. And this is the only one I've knit, but I want to knit every single one of them. So
yeah, they're all really fun.
Yeah, they're great patterns, well written. In that collection, there's a combination. I would say most of them are cabled, but there's at least one, if not two, I would call them lace patterns, but not overly lacy. So kind of some design elements, definitely some yarn overs and decreases. So you have some holes, but each one in the collection was knit in a different color of the Pride flag, which was really, it was really great to see. And he was donating a portion of the proceeds to a charity. I'm terrible and forget which one.
The Trevor Project?
The Trevor Project, since that's been 2 months ago now that came out. But check those out. So that's my only finished object. As far as works in progress, also for Matt, what are you pointing at?
Don't bump the microphone.
So bossy. Sorry if I bumped the microphone, friends. Jeez. Sorry, guys. Comment below if you don't like Caleb. I lost a stitch marker.
Rude.
So my first work in progress is the cowl that I'm test knitting, also for Matt Maker's Knitting.
Beautiful.
I love this. I love the way the fabric is knitting up. I love the pattern. What I have to say though, and this has nothing to do with Matt, this is all on me. I have learned that I love looking at color work. I love owning and wearing color work. I could knit cables all day, every day, but I struggle to knit color work. It's a little bit labor intensive for me, and I have to pay attention. I'm an English knitter, kind of a flicker by default, and I do color work, one yarn in my left hand, continental, one in my right, and it's just, this is my largest color work project so far. I've done a pair of mittens, a hat, and a headband, like ear warmer, that I made for you. So this is my biggest color work project. It's been a great project. It's not overwhelmingly large. The cowl,
it is so soft.
It's just amazing. It's knit in a combination of the Chelsea Luxe mohair in the denim colorway. That's this one, that is held double with a hand spun yarn of mine that's a super wash merino, this really nice purple color that has some little flecks of blue in it, and some other colors. So that's held together double. And then the pattern calls for a DK, but I'm using technically a worsted. It's the Malabrigo Rios in a color that I will find in a minute. It's blue. This color.
The Malabrigo Rios tends to be a little bit lighter of a worsted though, because it's 210 yards for 3.5 grams.
I don't know.
Ounces, not grams.
That sounds great.
It's 100 grams.
I didn't write it down. It is the color Cosmos. Super organized today.
Yeah.
But it just creates this really nice fabric. I ended up using the Rios. So even though the pattern calls for a DK, I went with technically a worsted because my hand spun has a little bit of size variation. I started knitting it with a different yarn as the lighter blue color. And
a similar blue.
no, I didn't knit it with that. I started with a different one of Chelsea Luxe DKs, kind of a beige color. So originally I was going to use a beige, and I'm so glad that I went with a blue, and I love this color. But the Rios is just a better match size-wise for my hand spun with the mohair silk held double. So the fabric is going to be great. The construction of the cowl is knit in a tube, so in the round, and you knit it this way, and in the end you do a twist and seam it together. So it's going to be
nice and warm.
Worn this way. It will keep you warm in a polar vortex. I will be covered in mohair every time I wear it, but I'm really loving it. I am 6.5 repeats in, and the pattern calls for 8 total. I think I am going to reach out to Matt. I want to be careful since this is a test knit, but I'm thinking I'm going to have plenty of yarn. I'm thinking I might want to knit 1 or 2 extra repeats. So a repeat is maybe about 4, maybe 3 inches or so. It's 20 rows. So we'll say kind of from here to here. And I have, each one of these sections, think of it as a repeat. So I'm thinking that I may want a couple of extra just so I don't have it quite so tight around my neck. That's just a personal preference. I think it would fit great as written, but I'm going to check in with Matt and see if he'd be okay. Maybe when I get to the end of the written pattern, I'm just going to try it on, see how I like it before I seam it together. But I may add a couple of extra repeats, but definitely a great color work pattern. I think I'm supposed to be done, I think on the 20th. So I got to get knitting.
Friday.
Maybe. I don't know. We're not going to think about that. I am behind and need to get caught up. So patterns.
We've been super busy.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of things. So pattern to be released soon. Maker's Knitting. Check him out. He's got a lot of great patterns.
It's so fun. It reminds me of almost like those tiles in Santorini that or some sort of like hand woven.
Yeah, the pattern is just beautiful. The main pattern is this. And then the chart kind of goes here and you repeat it multiple times. So then you end up with these secondary motifs, the larger diamonds, and it's just great. It's a really nice knit. I would say flying off the needles. If I were faster at color work, it would be knitting a lot faster. But another benefit, I think the longest stitch count for a single color, for those of you who knit color work, is 9 stitches. And you don't technically have to catch your floats because it's knit as a tube and then seamed together. So none of the floats are exposed when you wear it. So you don't have to worry about catching it on anything. Because I am a less experienced color work knitter, I have been catching the floats on the 6 and 9. There might even be a couple of 8. I think there's 6, 8, and 9 stitch repeats. And I've been catching the floats really just for practice, not because you need to do it. But I don't really trust my color work tension that well at this point. So I'm doing it for practice and just because I can. It's not too bad, but definitely a really great knit, and I'll be excited to see Matt release that final pattern. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, usually if you're knitting color work, you don't want to have floats any longer than an inch or so. So that could usually be, with something like worsted, it would probably be, 4 or 5 stitches. But especially since it's going to be hidden,
yeah, you won't have any problems either way. It would literally just be a preference. So if you're experienced, in this case, because you're using a mohair, which is what his pattern calls for anyway, mohair and a fingering held together, combined with a DK, it is super sticky and doesn't go anywhere. And so you're not, I don't feel like I would have to worry too much about tension. I feel like it's not going anywhere at all. But it's really been a pleasure to knit. I've enjoyed it quite a bit, and I'm looking forward to getting it done and wearing it in 5 months when it is -30 outside.
Right.
Yeah, this will not be a September or October knitwear piece.
This is a cold middle of winter.
Yeah, this is like a December, January, February piece, and it's going to be beautiful. My other work in progress, there's a funny story with this. It's probably not that funny. This was a skein of yarn that you bought for me from Cherie at Kirby Werby Yarns, who is entertaining to say the least.
I love her.
If you don't follow Cherie, please do. She is a scream. And the two of you went down some dark, frightening path.
Do not divulge our secrets.
You had a funny conversation. We'll leave it at that. So this colorway.
Okay, now we got to say something. Can't just leave that on the table.
Yeah, we can.
I don't remember how we got on that.
It's because she went live on Instagram.
Oh, yes.
While she was taking her trash out.
No, she was going to check her mail in the middle of the night and was talking about being kidnapped and serial killers.
And she learned that Wisconsin is the serial killer capital of the world.
It's not.
Which is where you come from.
But, you live here too.
Yeah, but I'm not from here. Killer, victim.
Right. Anywho. So we were just talking about that, and then we stayed up way too late and laughed
cackling
too much.
Like hens.
It's just so funny.
Back and forth. Yeah. Anyway, find Cherie, Kirby Werby Yarns. If you don't know her, I would say her specialty, in fact, I don't know that she dyes anything other than self-striping, but she dyes self-striping yarns in a lot of really great themed colorways. She has primarily fingering, but has also done, I think, worsted and some bulky.
Yeah, she has great self-striping bulky yarns.
Which you never see anywhere. So that's really fun. This is in the colorway Hells to the Yes, which you bought for me maybe 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. So recently, in the middle of COVID, I'll admit,
what haven't I bought in the middle of COVID?
Right. I am a sucker for a rainbow self-striping sock yarn. I want every one of them. Everyone. For some reason, though, I wasn't super excited to start knitting with this one. And I don't know why in the skein, it wasn't calling my name. You guys. Look at this yarn. I'm a total, complete disaster tangled mess. Hold on. We're just going to ignore that.
And the yarn's in a knot, too.
Yeah, the yarn is in a knot. It is tied around my project bag. I don't know what's happening. I can't move. Look at this. So this is actually the first color in I'm calling it the first color. So you have kind of a neon rainbow that goes from this red through orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, then into some pinks. And then it starts again. So this is essentially the full color repeat. In the background, though, you have a gradient of gray. So it goes medium to dark and then back to light, almost like a white stone gray. So 2 different sets of stripes. It is mind-blowing.
So that's almost, what is that, 20 stripes?
It's a lot. I can't count and talk and think at the same time. But feel free to count. They're all right here for you. This is so much fun. And I don't know what I was thinking when I wasn't super excited to start knitting with it. And literally the second I cast it on and got through the first 6 stripes. I am sorry. I love the yarn. I'm telling you, these colors are they're so saturated. They're neon. They're different.
That is like the perfect combo because I love colors and bright colors, and I love gray. And
I can't say enough about it.
One to the next, yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And the gray in the background is just perfect. So I am knitting this. I have lots of things going on. So I'm on my Chow Gu. I do 72 stitches on a US 1. So that's what this is, which is a 2.25. Hi, I'm prepared. I don't know what.
Right? Is it a 2.25?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know what's happening today.
Look at this.
So this is my own personal pattern that I'll say I created.
2.25.
Yeah, 2.25. This is my own pattern. So you'll see here. This is my go-to.
You would think we'd have our act together by now.
If you do, you are totally fooled. This is real life.
Right.
I have no idea what's happening ever. I just knit things. This is why I don't use Robert.
The real knitters of Sheboygan County.
I don't post anything on Ravelry because I don't write down anything I do, and I have no idea what the hell I did when it's done.
And then usually you come to ask me, and do you remember what I did here?
And you also don't remember.
No.
So this is my go-to sock pattern. It's just one that I'll say created. It's not overly complicated, but it's a ribbed cuff.
Well, we kind of came up with it together after we had knit a different pattern.
Oh, together. Mm-hmm. Ideas stolen, copyright, pattern infringement.
Rude. No, it was a different pattern that we were knitting, but we liked the like slip stitches down the leg.
Yep. So I create a series of ridges.
Almost like a pinstripe.
Yeah, it's almost like a pinstripe. It's really fun to use with different yarns. It works great in anything, self-striping, speckles. And what I really like about this is it gives so much structure to the sock. When I wear these socks in any, whether it's the 64 on a 2, whether it's the 72 on a 1, they don't fall down. They will literally stay up all day long, and they're just so comfortable. You know, the slip stitches, for those who aren't really familiar with them, they're not as wide as a regular stitch. So if I were knitting this same sock just in stockinette with 72 stitches on a 1, the fabric would be,
Look at those colors.
maybe even have, I know, they're just amazing. The sock would maybe have an extra ½ inch to maybe even an extra 3/4 of an inch of fabric, but those slip stitches really kind of pull it in. Not even like ribbing. It's tighter than that. You know, ribbing will stretch. You know, if you were to flip ribbing on its side, you know, you really see the zigzag in the ribbing. But this is just, it's my go-to pattern. So that's what I'm doing here. And then my favorite heel, I prefer a heel flap and gusset. This is loosely based on the heel pattern in is it the Hermione's Everyday Sock, which I think is a free pattern.
Yes, because it has the garter stitch on the edge.
Yeah, and my favorite thing about it is it has these garter stitches. It has three stitches of garter on the edge of,
which makes it
the heel flap.
So much easier to pick up.
Brilliant. So
they look the same on both sides.
Yep.
So normally when you knit a heel flap, if you have just the slip stitches on each side, one of them always ends up being looser than the other.
And look at this. I mean, you can pull this as hard as you want, and literally there's no gaps in the pickup. So what you do is add this garter band. I mean, you can't find any space in there. You knit this little garter ridge on the side of the heel flap, and then you pick up into the garter bump. You know, the end is just like it's that knot of stitches. So you can just stick your needle right in, and you get a beautiful edge to your heel flap. In the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern, it's actually, the heel flap itself is the eye of the partridge, which has you alternating where your knit and slip stitches are. So it creates kind of a honeycomb or basket weave pattern. I do it both ways. Sometimes I do that one. Sometimes I do just the traditional slip stitch heel. And then when I get to the foot, I knit it stockinette. This is my favorite.
But the pattern continues on the top of the foot.
Yeah, the pattern continues on the top of the foot. This is my favorite stitch marker. I call it my sock pickle. And it's the one that I use for all of my socks. So you guys are seeing everything that happens in my head can be expressed
in the colors, the pattern,
in this mess today.
The mess.
It is in one of my favorite little bags, Sandy by the Lakeside. This is a great little sock bag, and
this was from her collection that she had a bunch of, I think it was suiting fabric, and this is one of the bags that we've been able to keep away from Buster, our cat. He loves to rip these things off.
Lives for those tassels.
Drives me nuts because they're so nice, and
it's like a little suede tassel, and he just, you know, they're held on by like a little.
And if you leave it on the floor or next to the couch unattended, he will just yank it off.
Gone.
But
it's a great bag though.
Super fun.
Really nice size, two-tone, a really fun gingham lining on the inside, and yeah. That's it. That's all I've been doing. I have been trying to behave and finish my test knit on time. Sorry, Matt. And I had to knit a sock because I cannot do color work all the time. And I love to knit socks.
You love cables. I love color work.
Give me cables all day.
I'll take the color work.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to. And a lot of sewing, guys.
Yeah, we have done a ton of sewing,
So
mainly
much
for the
sewing.
shop.
I don't even know what to say. The response from the last shop update,
Holy cow.
out of control.
We were not expecting that at all.
Caught off guard.
And it was,
Unprepared.
it was a great problem to have, but
So generous.
within 72 hours, we had 74 orders, which is kind of insane for us. I mean, we've never experienced anything like
We
that
were
before.
unprepared for that.
A little bit. And so, we were up getting things ready and finishing stuff at like midnight for a week, but we got that done. But all that aside, we really appreciate the love and support and being able to make those bags. It's something that we enjoy and love to make, and it's fun for us to come up with different, fabric choices and color combos and styles, and not only that, but each month we pick a different charity and are able to support organizations and people that need it most. And so we picked the First Nations Fund. They had a COVID relief fund, and they primarily serve Native peoples of the United States, Alaska, Hawaii, and I think they support 51 different tribal nations, and it's just really great to be able to support them and the work that they do and provide the necessary assistance to those who might not be getting it, especially now during COVID.
Yeah.
But so we were able to donate with the shop update, and then we rounded it up to an even number just because it was a little bit easier for us to mathematically figure it out. $250 to that fund. So that's really awesome that all of you were able to buy some bags and help support that and provide some COVID relief to
Yeah, thank you
Native
so
peoples.
much.
It's been really great to see the response of the bags.
We were
and-
humbled, overwhelmed in a good way.
Yes.
Sometimes overwhelmed in a slightly panicked way, but so generous to see people ordering. I mean, who would have thought? Yeah.
And speaking of shop news, we will be having a shop update next Saturday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So there's going to be a couple more styles of bags with the kind of two-tone. Do you have...
We went all out of order.
It doesn't matter.
We're jumping into, but we haven't talked about our acquisitions.
Acquisitions.
Sorry, guys. I am struggling today.
So, among the other colors, I don't know why I didn't pick it from the beginning, but we have
Because
added
8 wasn't enough.
Because 8 colors was enough. We added black canvas to the bottom of the bags, so these will also be available in the sock, shawl, and sweater sizes.
This is such a cool combination.
It's, again, just the textures of the linen, that gray with the colors on the bottom, and we have the matching zippers on top, the matching lining of
This
the handle.
linen, the canvas is great because it's going to be so well wearing and really sturdy. But this linen.
Yeah, that's the bag in black, and this is the bag in gray, and we've got the rest of the 8 colors. But then, like I said, we added the black in the 3 sizes, and then we're now playing with other fabrics and textures. So this is the first. There are many colors that we've got, but it is a cork bottom, and this one happens to have a little bit of silver running through it. How fun is that?
I was admittedly terrified to
Is
try
that
and
not
sew this.
Awesome.
But it sews like a dream. It's a great alternative, kind of to leather. It's made out of cork. And you would think that it would... I mean, I have no idea how anyone makes cork fabric. Look, no more you.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, but it is incredible to work
brilliant.
with. The texture of the cork with the linen is fantastic. And so there's a couple of different colors that we're playing with now, but it is another one of those fabrics that is sustainable. It is relatively environmentally friendly. It helps reduce a lot of the greenhouse gas emissions, and
And it's different.
yeah,
I think
it's
we're enjoying so
different.
much playing with textures and different types of materials.
It just feels great too.
It's
really
really
cool. Yeah, so those will be added in the shop update on Saturday, as well as a couple of fun sort of end of summer season prints. So look forward to those, but I am really excited about these cork bags.
They're great.
So that'll kind of be the next installment of the basics collection. It will be instead of canvas bottoms, which we'll still offer those as well, but we're going to add another different texture and fabric to the bottom, so it's going to be cork. So that's fun, right? Yeah. What else do we have? Because we can't ever leave well enough alone. We always have to gild the lily any chance possible.
There's a bit of a story here, though. Before we show this last one, we're going to segue. We'll combine shop news with purchases. As if it weren't enough to replace the front walkway.
3 appliances.
3 appliances, although only one was broken
at
the time of this purchase.
And that was paid for. So it's not like we were...
We bought a new sewing machine.
We did. To be fair, my machine I thought was broken. I've had it for maybe 12 years now.
Which is not unreasonable for a sewing machine. They can live forever.
Well, and I get it serviced once or twice a year, just a general tune-up. But I really put it to work, especially sewing over zippers, and I really beat that machine up.
Yeah.
So I thought it had just kind of quit. I thought it was one and done, ready to go. It decided, 2020 is my last
COVID.
straw. And turned it off, turned it on, still wouldn't work. I did all of my normal troubleshooting, couldn't get it to fix itself. And then turned it off. We went and bought this new machine, which we had kind of been looking at. It's not like we needed it. I mean, we don't need another sewing machine. But since this started to go downhill, we thought, all right, it's an integral part of what we do for our hobbies, but also for the Etsy shop, and ended up getting this new machine.
So we bought a Bernina 770 QE Tula Pink Special Edition, which is a lot of letters and numbers. If you don't know anything about Bernina, they are a Swiss-made sewing machine.
All metal,
very high-end.
Amazing machines.
Really high quality. The company is about 125 years old. It's 1890 something, but I don't know what. But they have kind of a cult following. This is our first Bernina. We currently have a Singer and a Baby Lock. We have nice full-size sewing machines, but Bernina is totally different in almost every way. and we went in deep.
Oh, yeah.
We went hardcore into the Bernina world. But just really quickly, what we were excited about for the machine were 2 things in particular. So the QE means it's a quilting and embroidery edition machine. So we do a lot of...
that's what all of the bells and whistles are kind of geared towards.
Right. It does everything with a couple of things
specific. It even can sew for you.
With a couple of things specific to quilting and embroidery. So we do a lot of quilting, we do a lot of piecing, but other than small projects like a table runner, coasters, wall hangings, things like that, for our full-size quilts, we send all of them off to be quilted by a long arm quilter. Mm-hmm. Not so much custom free motion quilting, typically like a panto. So a preset computerized pattern,
that's just repeated across the whole quilt.
Not custom free motion work. Mm-hmm. But it's something that we send off to have done. So one of the features that we were really interested in was the stitch regulator that comes with this machine. So we'll go into that another day, but that was a feature we were really excited about. It's going to let us
it's got a really, really big throat, which means, so if you were looking at a sewing machine and it looked like this, and this is the head. Is it the head?
I'm a little teapot.
The throat plate is the opening to the side of your machine.
Yep.
So this opening is huge.
I think it's 11 inches.
Which allows us to be able to hand quilt our own most of our own quilts.
Yeah. Maybe not like a
Which is
jumbo king size,
Right.
but
Which is apparently all I know how to sew.
yeah, we'll be able to do more stuff at home than we could do before, which is really nice. So excited about that. The other thing that was a lot of fun is the embroidery. Now, I've had a sewing machine in the past that also had an embroidery module and had not done too much, but some playing around, some experimenting, and I love machine embroidery. I love hand embroidery too, but it's not something that I really do, and I didn't do a lot of the machine embroidery, but we were excited about that. And the Tula Pink edition, for those of you who know who Tula Pink is, she's a fabric designer.
The one who designed this fabric.
Yep. She's a fabric designer, she's an artist, she's a quilt designer, and she has beautiful, amazing fabrics. And part of what comes with this edition, so the machine is customized and designed with her, so it's really great to look at. It's got some cool and unusual features just on the outside. Mm-hmm. Not functionally different, but it's decorated aesthetically really different. Cool. It looks different. But the embroidery module comes with a bunch of her drawings and designs from her fabric lines digitized as embroidery patterns. So there's a combination of just decorative stitches that are custom to her that are only on this machine, and then some embroidery design. So we were really excited about the opportunity to do that. It's a really long story. We bought a really fancy sewing machine.
It is way smarter than both of us combined.
At least 100 times. It's terrifying and super intimidating.
But amazing at the same time.
A lot of fun. We've only done a little bit of sewing with it because we're scared. And we're learning. And it's different. It's different. Everything about it is just a little bit different than what we're used to. It's very computerized, but we really are getting somewhere in the story. Look what we were able to do. So I immediately wanted to embroider something on a bag. You know, I can't leave it alone. When we were in the shop, the woman said, "Now, I'm sure you won't do any embroidery anytime soon. You can come in for lessons." And I thought,
literally 2 days later,
I thought you don't know me, because I'm gonna have everything out.
Well, especially if you say no, or maybe you should wait.
Oh, yeah, you should probably wait.
Forget it. That's a trigger word.
So we embroidered on one of our bags a saying that Caleb loves to say all the time, which is buying yarn and using yarn are two different hobbies. I think the same goes for spinning and probably every craft. There's the collecting and the using, but we wanted to do a little bit of experimenting. I think it turned out really well, considering that I barely know what I'm doing, but I got it all on there and it worked really well. The machine did a beautiful job. So we actually had a couple of custom requests for a couple of bags with this saying on them. So we're going to be
we'll play around with a couple of other phrases, but I think this will be something that we'll offer in the shop as maybe an add-on to your bag purchase if you want. It's really cool, and I mean, a hilarious way to just add a little something extra to a bag.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. And since we're still talking about the shop, the charity or organization that we're supporting this month with the sales is going to be public broadcasting stations. So PBS, or public television, is something that I grew up on, and I'm sure many others throughout the United States grew up on, and they offer amazing programming, super educational, are a fantastic public service, and a great way, especially now when a lot of our children are at home, need a little extra learning, helping hands there when our parents are busy. They offer great educational programs for children through adults, and that's where a lot of Masterpiece classics are run, like Downton Abbey, and amazing programming. And so it's all a public service that they offer for free, and it's something that we have supported personally, and
for years,
and many friends of ours also support. And it's something that we thought, nationally at least, would be a really great charity and organization to support as well. So that is the going to be the charity or organization for the month of August.
Yeah, we've been longtime supporters of public television and public radio, so both PBS and NPR, and we really love both. So we thought, especially right now when we have an election coming up, there's a lot going on. A lot of people turn to public broadcasting, whether TV or radio. The programming, educational, entertaining. There's just a lot to offer, so excited to have that.
Yeah, that's great. I guess that brings us into
Look at us. We're not doing too bad. An hour and 5 minutes.
Well, it's because we didn't knit anything. It's fine. It's fine.
Way to bring me down.
No,
I was feeling good.
We did good.
This is not going to be 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Promises.
I got stuff to do.
I'm kidding. Yeah, we have to finish canning tomatoes.
And dinner. I don't even know what's happening with dinner right now. It'll be fine. Who
Who needs
cares?
dinner? We've got yarn.
Right? I'm not eating yarn. I need dinner. COVID-15.
Anywho,
COVID-19.
we're gonna wrap this up. So stash acquisitions. Speaking of Kirby Warpy and Cherie, she had released a Schitt's Creek Advent stripe skein, so I had to buy that. But in that shop update, she also had a Frozen themed sock set.
Because nobody can let it go. I'm here all day.
Anywho. Frozen themed. So this is a really great wintry self-striping
Love
with
these colors.
this little mini, and this is on her sparkle base. So I don't know if you can see. It's not picking up, but it's got lots of great sparkles. It is called
this
Frozen Farmer's Heine
peach.
with Samantha as the mini. Olaf is one of my favorite characters, and when he names that snowflake Samantha, if you haven't seen Frozen 2, spoiler alert, a little late, but
FYI,
really funny.
we have a tiny stalker on the floor.
Our cat is right next to us, so she may jump on the table or on me.
And scare the crap out of you and flip something
But yeah,
over.
so that was a stash acquisition, and I can't wait until the Schitt's Creek color.
Oh!
She did.
I knew it was going to happen.
There she is. This is Daffodil. Many of you want to see
Hi,
her,
Daff.
so here she is. Making a cameo as Daffodil the cat.
I'm so surprised that she came down here.
Displeased as usual.
I mean, she's always around, but she's not been a fan of
Right.
the podcast so far.
Well, she likes to watch, but not actually join. So, this is one of her little keys.
I will be stealing this, Cherie. Thank you. Samantha is going to be put to good use. And self-striping socks are my life.
Yeah, I can't believe she jumped on my lap like that. She flew. She
should-
flew over this pile.
I should
of
have just
projects.
let her do it and
Without saying
not
anything.
giving you a heads up, and you probably would have flipped over backwards.
Because I totally didn't see that coming. So I ordered a couple of months ago. Sarah from Murray & Co. Wool Goods had dyed up a bunch of sock yarn in Golden Girls themed colorways.
I just want to say, before you even get into this, I happened to see her post this thing on Instagram, and I literally thought, oh, that's really cool. I'm glad Caleb didn't see that. Ha!
So she dyed up a bunch of Golden Girls themed colorways, and
I'm gonna sneeze.
don't you do it.
Okay, I'm back. I thought I was gonna
Pineapple.
sneeze. I will kill you.
So I bought, I think, everyone that she dyed.
I don't know what's
And
happening.
then, I don't either. You derailed my train of thought.
Yarn. Cats.
Stop. I was just getting it back. She had a sock tube cranking service on her shop. So I, at the time, was super busy with work and life and everything, and I really wanted to make myself these socks out of these Golden Girls yarns, but didn't have the time. And so I bought the yarns and then just had her crank it into a tube right away. So it's this giant long tube of 6 different colorways, and the colorways are Dorothy, Sophia, Rose, Blanche, Blanche's Boudoir, and Bathrobes and Cheesecake. So she posted this picture, no touchy, she posted this picture online of this giant like sock tube cake, which I have now deemed the Golden Girls sock tube cheesecake.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can ever use it now.
Sorry, I'm very distracted at the moment. The cat is climbing up the stairs.
She's staring at us.
And we have a piece of cardboard covering the window. Our basement has like
Windows.
3 feet above ground, so we have a lot of windows. And the sun will be coming, like blinding us in the window. So we have a piece of cardboard, and she was just trying to ooch it over, and now she is just staring.
She's causing trouble.
A hole through our souls.
Um,
Because she's irritated that she cannot look at birds.
Anyway,
I'll be quiet
back to my sock cheesecake now. So it's all of the 6 different colorways in her
I love this.
everyday sock base, and I mean, how fun is that? I don't know if I can undo it and use them now. And it's just the
buying yarn and using yarn
and using yarn are 2 different hobbies.
Yeah.
Truth. But yeah, so that was the really fun package that came. But along with that, but wait, there's more. I bought
So
2
much
mini
buying.
sets. Calm down. Somebody's got to buy the yarn in this relationship. I bought 2 mini sets, and they're really similar, but a couple of the colors are a little bit different in each one. And these are on her, I believe, everyday sock base. So it's 75% merino, 25% nylon. Each mini is 20 grams, and that's for a total of 552 yards, 120 grams. And they were just numbered by sets. So
Those
grabbed them.
colors are beautiful.
Aren't they fun?
I love this green and this blue.
Did you just call this blue green?
Blue.
That is blue, not green. This is green.
I am not colorblind.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else of the jury, of these colors, is this green? Yes. Is this blue? Yes. What color is the color in the middle? Leave a comment down below so we can settle this debate once and for all. I would say this is blue, but you would call that green.
I know what color it is, and I
It's
can
blue.
see it.
It's not green.
I know that teal or turquoise are blues, but in my head, I see it and I think green.
It's blue.
I know
The pen is blue.
what color it is. I can see the color.
Name that movie.
This is an argument that we have all the time,
Yes, because you think blue is green.
and you can't admit when you're wrong.
Because I'm not wrong.
I mean, maybe not about this, but I love these colors. Green,
Anyways,
blue, gold.
super fun mini sets that came. I just want to collect them. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them.
Probably nothing. Have
Then-
them, hold them, love them.
Love them. And then Sarah was super generous and amazing, and sent 3 coordinating skeins, and this is in her yak sock base.
Give me one.
Uh-uh.
Give me one.
No. Once you go yak, you never go back. It is amazingly soft. Beautiful colors. The yak sock base is 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, 10% nylon, and 437 yards per 100 grams. This colorway is the Village Pub. Now you can hold it. This colorway is blush, so it's a really great sort of taupey brown with flecks of green.
I love the green speckles.
And then this is malachite, so that is an amazing combo. I love green, and this is just an absolute treat.
It's
I can't wait to find the
beautiful.
perfect pattern. So now I have to find a 3 skein pattern to use these together. It is beautiful. So if you haven't stopped or shopped at Sarah's shop, that's a tongue twister on a
What
Sunday
are you
night.
saying?
You need to go and check it out.
And she has the cutest cat.
Well, technically it's her mom's cat, but Frankie hangs out in the dye studio.
I know, but still.
She's great. And then Rosie.
And Rosie. What's her other dog's name?
Maisie. That's her mom's dog.
I think.
I don't know. Either way, they're
Sarah, I
hilarious
miss all
and
of your
funny.
I miss all
and
of
I
your
love
bee
them.
videos. Were they Snapchat videos?
I think so.
When she
Yeah,
used to
the
do the
filter.
bee. I mean, it's like 50 years ago,
It's so fun.
but
I love Sarah. She's
Sarah's great.
Has
Her
amazing
yarn
yarns.
is beautiful.
And then, but wait, because there's even more. This episode is brought to you by Murray Wilco.
Not really, but yes.
Not really, but yeah.
It should be.
She sent 3 sets of needles. How generous and amazing is that? I am blown away. Like, so humbled and so thankful and grateful for everyone in the fiber arts and crafting community. They are just amazing, beautiful, generous people. So, thank you, Sarah.
Is it uncool to do this? I need a nap.
I'm surprised that I have not already used these to cast something on. That's all that I bought and was gifted.
That's not true. Don't you have a whole pile of stuff over there?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
let's be
goodness
honest.
gracious.
Our house is like a revolving door with UPS
So-
and the post office.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about this thing?
I forgot about the giant, 40-foot sock snake. I went through a phase where I wanted to knit socks for everybody for the holidays, which I will maybe do. But let's be real, I don't have the time or the energy to knit my whole family a pair of socks because there's a whole heap of them. But I've got the yarn. I also had Sarah crank a gigantic tube. Shall we begin? Here's one sock. And so I'll have to cut these apart, add the heels, toes, and cuffs. Here's another sock. So a lot of these yarns, I don't remember what they are. It's been a while.
We, as in you, sent Sarah 1,000 skeins of yarn.
Yeah. So this is a Lorna's Laces in I think it was Go Pack Go colorway.
Mm-hmm.
For my parents, not me. I'm not into sports that much.
I'm not into the sports.
I'm not into the sports ball.
That's great. I don't know what that is.
I don't remember what that was. This was an Allegria sock.
This yarn, if you have not
So
knit
soft.
with Allegria, I've not knit with this colorway, but
Is
their
that
yarns
beautiful?
are gorgeous.
All right, keep the string going.
Okay.
I can't remember what this was. Nope.
This is really thick.
I don't remember. Yeah, it's a dense yarn. This was a Brew City Yarns.
I love all those colors.
Right. This was also.
Are we really going through all these?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
This was also Brew City Yarns. Nomadic Yarns.
Nomadic. If you don't know about Ashley, the obsession with self-striping sock yarn continues. She also has a lot of Harry Potter colorways.
Also Brew City.
That's
We
awesome.
used to live in Milwaukee, which is Brew City, and Brew City Yarns was entirely too close and too easily accessible to purchase all
We
the
have a
time.
lot of their yarn.
So, also Brew City. This one, also Brew City, but this one is called Emerald City. It's got stellina in it. I don't know if you can. It's not picking up it great, but you can kind of see it. Love it. This one is Pumpkin Spice Latte, also Brew City.
Apparently we have
This
a
one
problem.
is a Harry Potter themed color from Sarah.
It looks like a Dementor.
Oh, I think that's what it was.
Oh.
So smart. Nomadic Yarns.
I'm going to say that's a Harry Potter colorway, but I can't remember what it is.
I don't know. Then this was...
Oh, I made socks out of this.
Yes, this was the dyer that dyed that kind of chocolate brown. And this was a Hocus Pocus themed yarn.
Who was that?
I don't remember.
This is great yarn.
Yep.
I made a pair of socks out of this.
More nomadic. So in case you haven't gathered, everyone
You
that
have a problem?
It's not a problem if everyone's getting hand knit socks for Christmas, okay?
Who's
Okay.
getting hand knit socks for Christmas?
Apparently everyone I've ever met. So I don't remember who dyed this one.
This is a really informative part of today's episode.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of yarn by a bunch of people we can't remember in a bunch of colorways
This
we don't know.
was a... Oh.
I don't know what's happening
I
right
remember.
now.
That was a Nicole. That was a Hugh Loco chicken set.
Where's the rest of it?
She forgot to send the mini skeins back, so She sent that separately, so they'll be here soon.
Oh.
This is also a Hugh Loco chicken yarn.
I am obsessed with Hugh Loco's chicken.
This is another Lorna's Laces and just a basic.
This looks like a sock monkey.
Oh yeah.
Right here. Just saying.
Anywho, so that's the end of our 50,000 foot pile of socks, like snakes. So like I said, everyone that I've ever met is getting hand-knit socks for Christmas.
No one hold your breath on that promise in case you're thinking you might be the recipient of one of Caleb's Christmas socks.
And this is one of my favorite parts of this package. I am unapologetically a cat lover. And so I got this beautiful little card that Sarah sent. Wait for it. There's more. The
Are
card.
you Ron Popeil today?
Maybe. Ronco, set it and forget it. The card turns into a cat.
Or does the cat turn into a card?
Chicken and an egg. Which came first? Is that not hilarious?
Is
and
this
amazing?
green or blue?
That's green.
What?
It's green.
I know.
I love it.
It's
Anywho.
really cute.
And then it was sealed with this adorable little kitty sticker.
Cats
In
wearing
hand
hats
knits.
with umbrellas.
Yeah. That's officially all I've got.
What about your fabric?
Well, we'll show that at the same time.
I don't have anything else. Oh, that's a lie. I do. My friend Dawn.
What would you do without me? It's a miracle you've made it this long. You love me because you have no choice.
Send help. My friend Dawn, her daughter, whose name is Adelaide, but they call her Scout. She is, I'm so sorry I don't know this. I'm going to say 12. She's around 12. Opened her own Etsy shop, which is so exciting. I'm so happy for her. And I insisted that Dawn send me the link to her shop immediately so that I could place an order. And I ordered for Caleb and I a set of coasters. So she crochets. So we have a set of 2 crocheted coasters that are so cute. They're a nice little size for a cup. I'm so excited to use them. Her shop is called Addie Designs Incorporated. We'll link that in the description below. I've been waiting to say that because I do not do show notes. I don't even know what show notes are.
He likes to throw everything in there, and then I have to do all the show notes for it.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
So these are great. They're a fun, would you call that a blue or a green?
Well, on the camera, it's reading more blue, but I would say it's mint green.
Okay, they're kind of a mint green color. Really cute, really nicely done. She's just learned how to crochet.
As this sock.
Yeah, she's just learned how to crochet and has some really great little things in her shop. So I ordered these and was really excited to get those. They came packaged really well. They had a nice little card in with them.
And she makes little, like, crocheted stuffed bees that are
and by little,
so cute.
They're like the size of basketballs. They're enormous.
Yeah, they're like big plushy pillows.
So I don't know if oh look, we're gonna try this. I sent one to my brother and his wife for their new little baby. We have a baby in the family. Little June she was born on Mother's Day. So that makes her almost 3 months old, or in baby.
She is 3 months old because it was May 11th, May 14th.
I don't know, Mother's Day, May 17th, 14th.
Just about 3 months old.
We don't know anything these days. And
or in parent terms, that's like 9.5 weeks.
22,065 minutes. So look, I mean, isn't she...
that is the little bee that Scout made.
The bee is the size of the baby. Look how cute my niece is. Look how cute that bee is.
Adorable.
So also in her shop, she's so cute. She had the bees. You could add blush if you wanted. So she gave them little like blushing cheeks. She had a couple that were like pastel colors that were really cute. And my sister's kids have I was going to say obscene. They have a large collection of stuffed animals.
As does every
child. And they don't have a bee, and so my sister ordered one, and I need to check with her and see if it's come. But anyway,
I think she got it.
Check that out. Really cute. We'll make sure to link in case you don't crochet. I have
very basic crochet skills.
Rudimentary crochet skills. But these were great. Excited to get those. And then this was not a purchase, but super generous. My friend Anne surprised me this week. She had PTO a couple of weeks ago, and she's been crocheting a hole in the ground. She's been making market bags, towels. She crocheted, I don't know how she did this, a Swiffer.
A Swiffer cover.
Like it's not
Swiffer map.
Oh, so the floor Swiffer cover, like a wraparound thing that's washable, but literally like a duster Swiffer. It's got like little finger. It's amazing. Yeah, really cool. So she sent me a fun little package that had a bunch of crochet things, and I'm mesmerized because I don't crochet. So a couple of nice dishcloths, just cotton dishcloths, a flat one, and then a ripply round one. These, I don't know why.
Handmade washcloths and dishcloths are amazing. They are the cat's meow. They work fantastic.
They work so well.
They wash up so well.
I don't know why, though. I need to ask her what yarn she uses. I like the crocheted dishcloths 50 times more than I like the knitted ones. I don't know why. They're great. So, also, she sent some little small face scrubbies. So they're just cotton rounds that you can use like in the shower or to wash your face, something like that. They're really fun.
I know people that make their own little like makeup remover pads.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of what these are. And they make their own like little makeup remover solution just because it's...
I don't need that. But
well,
soap and water. I probably do need makeup. Look at my shiny head. Yeah.
Shiny.
Anyway, also she sent little dish scrubbies. I cannot even deal with this.
They're so cute.
One is a sunflower. They're made out of tulle, so they are perfect for scrubbing dishes.
And they're non-abrasive.
They're non-abrasive. The tulle works really well, but they don't mess anything up, so you can use it.
They don't scratch the nonstick surfaces or the delicate pots and
You
pans.
can use them on stainless steel. You can use them on anything. We have a handful from Anne already that we love. We're obsessed with them. She made this really cute little sunflower. I cannot even deal with that. Are you ready?
It's a paw print.
A paw print. This is why crochet is so wild to me.
Crochet is truly magical.
She's just like sitting down watching TV one night, and it's like, I bet I can make a sunflower.
I bet I can make
a paw.
Yeah.
So she was telling me she has a little dog named Jack, the cutest little thing in the world. But she has different scrubbies. Like she has one that she uses to clean like dishes that she keeps at the kitchen sink. She has a separate one that she made in the shape of a paw print that she uses to clean Jack's bowl, so that she's using a different one for his food bowls than for their dishes. She has like one that she uses to clean the bathrooms. You guys, I can't handle this.
It is a kitty with whiskers.
A cat with whiskers. I can't. And look, it already has cat hair in it. So I told Anne, I meant no disrespect, this is totally out of love, but I intentionally left all of these sitting on the floor in the living room. I sent Anne a picture when the box came, but I left all of these on the floor because I knew that Buster would start batting them all over the floor.
Oh, which he did.
He was literally like hockey pucking them across the living room and having so much fun.
So not only do we love them, but Buster.
Yeah, they also double as cat toys. So I may be requesting another set of smaller ones for the cats to play with.
I for sure am going to ask her to make a bunch of these.
I mean whiskers.
I mean paw prints and sunflowers.
I can't deal with it.
Hello.
It's so cute.
Super fun.
Yeah, so just a nice fun surprise, not a purchase. I keep telling Anne that she could open an Etsy shop. She's literally made market bags. I didn't bring down the towel holder, but she made, a little crochet.
Made a towel topper.
It's a towel topper, but it has a ring on the inside that you can stuff like a kitchen towel in.
So a lot of them you see like at
Wizardry,
craft fairs or whatever. they have the towels sewn to the topper, but this, you just slide the towel through the
Yeah,
ring.
slip it through the ring, and then you'd have it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. So just a fun surprise in the mail. I did send, so Anne is obsessed is maybe not even the word for it, but obsessed. She lives for llamas. And I sent her a surprise. I made some face masks for her daughter for school. And I sent her a project bag out of llama fabric. And she called me on Saturday morning. And she said, Justin. And the tone in her voice, I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? She was like, I can't believe you made me a llama bag. She was so excited to get it. And I told her we have so much llama fabric that we've been collecting. So more things to come. But yeah, a fun surprise.
Speaking of fabric, which kind of wraps up this...
We got to wrap this up. Got to pick up the kids.
Endeavor. Since we got our new sewing machine, we've always been curious about...
I like how you qualified this and blamed it on the sewing machine.
Well, how else are you going to justify buying this fabric?
Lies. You have a problem buying fabric.
You bought the other kind. Grab your fabric. I am not going down on the ship alone. You jump, I jump, remember? The new sewing machine has a little bit more bells and whistles and features that are more conducive to explorative sewing. So as far as, well, I mean, like, outside of our comfort zone from normal...
What are you, a paleontologist?
I meant...
Explorative sewing. Look that up. See what happens in Google.
Don't do that. I don't know what that does. I meant that we...
I don't know what's happening. There are no notes for this right now.
No, I'm ad-libbing here. We wanted to explore sewing pieces outside of quilting and bags. So
we wanted to sew. Where does the word explore come in? Dip your toe in the lake that is Blanche.
I don't know why you do this to me.
I'm never coming back. I'll be locked in my cage for the rest of time.
We wanted to sew shirts to get to the point here. And because we're giant Tula Pink fans, I bought this monkey wrench fabric from the quilt shop.
Show it closer. Bananas.
I will. It's bananas.
That fabric.
So it is a mustardy, kind of chartreusey yellow.
If mustard and chartreuse had a baby.
That's what like chartreuse? Mustruce?
I don't know.
Anyways, with like neon pink, purple bananas.
Subtle.
It's bananas. But yeah, so I will be bedecked in a shirt that may or may not actually work as a garment, because I may or may not actually know how to sew a shirt.
It might be a scrub top.
Yeah.
Some sort of... I don't know.
Is that not...
Some sort of box garment.
Is that not amazing, though?
A tunic. A toga. It's pretty fun.
If it doesn't work as a shirt, I'm going to cut it apart and make myself a bag.
Except you have like 5 yards of it. It's a lot of bags. Yeah. It's a lot of bananas. I'm going to show very quickly.
I love that you're making fun of my obnoxious fabric.
Mine is so much worse. I ordered a quilty box, which I will talk about another day. But in it, the quilty boxes once a month have a featured designer. And I think I accidentally signed up for more than 1 month, or Quilty just decided to bill me for more months. But I'm actually really excited about this one. So either way, it works out. But I signed up last month to get a quilty box because the featured designer was Tula Pink, and part of what was included was a yard of an out of print fabric and
an exclusive, super cool.
This fabric is called Disco Kitty. It's from one of her older lines. It's out of print. I cannot deal with these kids.
So it's based off of the print Tabby Road, or collection Tabby Road, which was cat themed.
So look at these cats, super cute. Well, this fabric right now, people have lost their minds is an understatement. When this started showing up in people's quilty boxes and it's out of print, people have been paying obscene amounts of money to get their hands on this fabric. Well, you can't find it. However, we found it, not in this color. I was hoping to make a shirt out of this color with the white background, but you can't find it anywhere. And we only have 1 yard. And as much as I'd like to think that I could fit into a shirt that's made of 1 yard of fabric, that would not be pretty.
Keep dreaming, sweetheart.
Sausage casing. But we did find the Disco Kitty print in a different color. Look at this. Teal blue, orange pink,
lime green
cats. I told my mom, I showed her this last night. We were FaceTiming.
So you want to make a shirt for yourself out of this?
Right. Super subtle. Yeah.
And I'm going to be wearing a banana shirt.
Yeah.
If you lose us in a crowd...
This is tragedy at its finest. No.
Or is it amazing?
Or is it brilliant? So I showed this fabric to my mom last night while we were FaceTiming with her, and she said, do not wear that shirt when you're with me. I said, why not? She said, I will be embarrassed to be seen with you. So thanks, Mom. Super supportive there. Game on. Challenge accepted.
Also, I don't know if you can tell, but because Daffodil the cat, I don't know why I always refer to her as Daffodil the cat, because she slid the box over, the sun that we were using the box to protect ourselves from is now beaming down half of my body.
Oh yeah, it's like
right.
You're like Two-Face.
Yeah. Two-tone.
I'm stepping on a stitch marker that flew off of my cowl.
Yeah, so I'm being partially blinded by the sun.
That's all we're going to show for now.
We are so thankful and so happy to join you guys, and we want to thank all of the people that come to watch us every week. And
we have one more thing to say.
Hold on. I am not done with my spiel.
Go ahead.
Here. Interrupting. Gosh. You're just like Scott and John. And is Scott the one that interrupts them? I don't know. Anyways. Get to that in a different episode. We just want to say thank you to everyone that has joined us every week and that continues to participate in our giveaways and our craft alongs, which brings me to mentioning we have a make-along happening right now in our Ravelry group. So you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Ravelry as The Bearded Purl. And in our Ravelry group, we have a make-along, which is Giftmas in July. So it started in July and runs through September. And it is where we get caught up and get ahead of the schedule and ahead of the game on all of our gift crafting, whether that be sewing, knitting, crocheting, weaving, painting, any kind of craft you can think of. Get it done and ready before the holidays so we can have some time to relax before then. So be sure to check those out. And again, thanks to everyone who's joined us. And we love all of the comments. And thanks to all the viewers. And welcome to anyone who's new.
Yeah. Welcome.
Anything else?
No, all of those things. It's been so nice to the same. This is just the most amazing community, and I know that you guys know that, but I'm blown away all the time. And what I was going to say a minute ago, we didn't share, but we had the opportunity between yesterday and when we saw you 3 weeks ago, we have had 2 social interactions. Count them, 2. We have seen people twice and had the opportunity to get together with some friends in, we'll say, the Milwaukee area, but people that we met at our local yarn shop in Milwaukee when we lived down there, and the shop is closed pre-COVID, but it's a group that we've remained in contact with. But
yes, they have become lifelong friends, and they're amazing people. So we meet at Kathy with a Y at her house.
There's lots of Kathys involved.
Yeah, she has a beautiful home and an amazing gigantic wraparound porch. So it's really great for us to be able to sit outside, social distance, and we all bring kind of potluck type lunch and set it up inside, and we go in and grab it one at a time. And when social distancing can't be met, we make sure to wear our masks. But
it's been nice
Kathy
to
with
see,
a Y,
see
Kathy
people.
with an I, yeah, Kathy with an IE, and Renee, and they are all amazing, beautiful crafters and friends and wonderful people. And that's kind of where we've learned some of our knitting and quilting and sewing. And
it is a collective
hobbies.
black hole of crafting.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, and then Renee showed off some beautiful embroidery and stitching and cross stitching. So
decades
if
of
you want-
experience
if you
getting
want
into trouble.
to spend an amazing Saturday afternoon, talk to these ladies.
Yeah. And we have other friends that we miss as much that we haven't been able to get together with.
Right.
So looking forward to a time when it's safe to do that, but really fortunate to be able to leave the house twice
See people, talk to people.
in a month. Yeah. And do it safely.
Yes, right.
Be smart, be safe, and get together with friends. So we've also had the opportunity to join a couple of virtual knit nights, which have been really fun. Just again, maybe a silver lining with so much tragedy happening in the world and just so much going on is the ability to connect. And I'm so appreciative that we live in an age where I can't see my mom in person, but we get to FaceTime with her regularly. We can get together with friends where it's safe to do so and social distance. The people you can't be with in person, you can be with virtually, with video conferencing and things like that. So it's been a fun couple of weeks.
And in a time where, as a, I guess, population, we are isolated for our own safety. We are almost more connected because we're reaching out proactively. We're making sure to connect with people that we haven't talked to. And I think that's one of the positive things that have come out of this, is that we are making sure to check in and connect and talk to people and just keep that
Connection.
that interaction and that relationship and communication going.
Yeah.
The sun is now fully beaming in my eyes.
We'll wrap it up.
But
Oh gosh.
thank you all again. We are so happy to join you
Yeah.
this week, and we'll have a couple of other fun, shorter videos throughout the next week or two to share. And I've got a really fun, here we go with the fun thing again. I've got a really exciting kind of box of goodies to share with you about a collaboration type thing going on.
Yeah.
So
That's exciting.
yeah.
All right. Well, have a great week, everybody, or a great couple of weeks until we see you again. Be safe, be well, craft on, stay out of trouble.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.